Hello students, happy morning. Class 12 Physics, Unit 4, Electromagnetic Induction and Alternating Current continuation video. Here in this video, let me see what are the methods of producing induced EMF. Okay. We know according to Faraday law, EMF can be produced by changing the magnetic flux. Here let me see what are the methods to change the magnetic flux to produce induced EMF. Okay. EMF, it is an electromotive force. Actually, it is not a force, it is a work done in moving the charge in a circuit. Okay. Actually, it is not a force, it is a work done in moving unit charge around the circuit. Okay, it is measured in joule per coulomb or volt. You already learned this thing in your lesson 2, that is current electricity. Okay, here let me see some example for energy sources that may provide this EMF. First one is electrochemical cell. The next one is solar cell. Then the third one is thermoelectric cell. Okay. Then the last one is generator, that is electrical generator. First three, that is electrochemical cell, solar cell, thermoelectric cell. This may provide low scale power. Okay, low power. In order to we get or we need more power, so we can consider a device called electrical generator. Okay, more power. In order to generate more power, we need electrical generator. Okay, according to Faraday, we know EMF in a circuit can be produced by changing the magnetic flux. Okay, we know according to Faraday, EMF can be produced by changing the magnetic flux. Okay, then the magnitude of this induced EMF can be represented as magnitude. That means value, magnitude of EMF. EMF, that is psi is equal to d phi b by dt. Okay, we know phi b is a magnetic flux. Okay, flux, we know flux is a number of magnetic field lines crossing the given area, that is represented as phi b is equal to b a cos theta. Okay, here by changing the flux we can produce an EMF. How to change the flux? By changing the magnetic field, or by changing the area of the coil, or by changing the orientation of the coil. Okay, these are the methods to produce induced EMF. Okay, then we can write psi is equal to d by dt, phi b became ba cos theta. Okay, see, induced EMF can be produced by changing the magnetic field, or by changing the area enclosed by the coil, or by changing the orientation of the coil with respect to the magnetic field. Okay, let me see how to produce induced EMF by changing the magnetic field. Okay, then first method to produce an induced EMF, that is changing the magnetic field. Okay, we know very well change in flux can produce EMF. Okay, change in flux that can produce EMF. How to change the flux? That means changing the magnetic field or area or orientation of coil. Okay, here let me see how to change the magnetic field in order to produce an induced EMF. Okay, see, according to Faraday, we know EMF in a circuit is by changing the magnetic flux. Okay, how to change the flux? We know from first experiment of Faraday, he considered a coil and a magnet. Okay, whenever there is a relative motion between the coil and the magnet changes, then it produces an EMF. That is the first experiment. In second experiment, he considered two coils that are placed in close proximity. Okay, if suppose I applied a current in a coil 1, it produces magnetic field around the coil. If suppose I change the current, then it produces a flux. It produces a change in flux in a secondary coil. Okay, due to the change in flux, it produces EMF in the secondary coil. Okay, here in these two experiments, we know we are changing the magnetic field by the motion or by changing the magnetic field by applying the current. We are producing the induced EMF. Okay, then our next topic, production of induced EMF by changing the area of the coil. Okay, we know EMF can be induced by changing the flux. Okay, flux is a number of magnetic field lines crossing the given area. Here we are inducing an EMF by changing the area. Okay, in order to change the flux. Okay, so I consider a metallic frame like this. This metallic frame is placed in a magnetic field. This cross represents magnetic field is going into the sheet. Okay, then next I placed a sliding conductor on that metallic frame. This is at the position AB. Okay, I move the sliding conductor with the velocity V towards left. Okay, first of all I consider a metallic frame. The metallic frame is placed in a magnetic field. That magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the frame or perpendicular to the sheet here. Okay, it is going into the sheet. The cross represent magnetic field is perpendicular inwards. Okay, then I placed a sliding conductor that is at a position AB. It moves with velocity V towards left. Okay, then it attains a new position that is called CD. During this movement, at the time interval dt, the rod changes its position from AB to CD. Okay, in time dt. Here the area enclosed by the loop, and hence the magnetic flux though the loop decreases. Okay, after moving the sliding conductor from this position to this position with the velocity V, here the area also decreased and the magnetic flux also decreased. Anyway, the magnetic flux is changed. Okay, then we can write the change in magnetic flux. Change in magnetic flux, that is d phi b. We know flux phi is equal to ba. Okay, so b, here area is changing, so we can write this one as dA. Okay, here dA is a change in area. Okay, we know the change in area is nothing but area of this section. Okay, then A, B, C, D is a change in area. So we can write this one as area A, B, C, D, that is equal to, it is in a shape of rectangle. We know area of rectangle is length into breadth. We know very well the length of the sliding conductor is L. Here, in order to find the breadth of this area, so we are applying a formula. Here we know we are moving the sliding conductor from this position to this position with the velocity v in a time dt. Okay, we know velocity is equal to distance by time. So I don't know about this area, so I consider this one as, don't know about this breadth, so I consider as x. Then distance by time, the time is dt, so it is dx. Okay, small distance, so it is considered as dx by dt. We need only this value. Okay, then dx is equal to v dt. Okay, so the area became length into breadth. Length is L and breadth is v dt. Okay, then we can write d phi b is equal to b L v dt. Okay, we know according to Faraday law, the EMF is a rate of change of magnetic flux, d phi b by dt. Then substitute this b L v dt by dt. dt going to cancel. Then psi is equal to b L v. This is known as motional EMF. Why it is motional EMF? Because it is produced due to the motion of the conductor. Okay, so it is known as motional EMF. Then we know very well, according to Lenz's law. Okay, Lenz's law states the induced EMF always opposes the cause responsible for the production. Here the cause is decrease in flux. Okay, here this EMF can oppose the cause, that means it will increase the flux. Okay, in order to increase the flux, current can flow in clockwise direction. Okay, or we can use Fleming right hand rule. Okay, we know according to Fleming right hand rule, the forefinger point the direction of the magnetic field. In your right hand, forefinger point the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger point the direction of the current, and the thumb finger point the direction of the motion of the conductor. Okay, so forefinger point the direction of the magnetic field, thumb finger point the direction of the motion of the conductor. So the middle finger indicate the direction of the induced current. So here the current flows in a clockwise direction. Okay, if suppose the loop, this loop having the resistance here, resistance R, then the induced current can be written as, we know current is equal to voltage by resistance, then psi by R. We can write VL V by R. This is a current that flowing in the loop. Okay students, here let me check the energy conservation of the system. Okay, here we are applying a mechanical work. Okay, we are doing some mechanical work. Due to this mechanical work, it produces a current. Okay, we know according to Joule's law of heating, if a current is flowing through a conductor, it produces heat. Okay, here the mechanical work is converted into electrical energy, then the electrical energy is converted into heat energy. Let me check the energy conservation of the system. The energy conservation will obey or not for this system. Okay, here we know we are moving the conductor in a uniform magnetic field, then due to the change in flux it produces current. Okay, then after I is a current flowing through the conductor. Okay, this conductor. Okay, then this conductor or this current carrying conductor is moved with the velocity v in a magnetic field. We know very well in our third lesson, when a charged particle moving at an angle theta with a magnetic field or moving perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force. That force is known as Lorentz force. Okay, here the conductor carrying current is moving with the velocity v in a magnetic field, so it experiences a Lorentz force. Okay, according to Fleming left hand rule, the forefinger point the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger point the direction of the current, and thumb finger, extended thumb, indicate the direction of the Lorentz force. Okay, so it experiences a Lorentz force in outward direction. Okay, that force can be represented as, that is Lorentz force. Lorentz force, that is Fb vector is equal to I L vector cross B vector. Here L is the length of the sliding conductor. Okay, in order to check the magnitude of this force, we can write this one as Fb vector modulus is equal to IL vector cross B vector. Okay, so it became F is equal to IL B sin theta. Okay, we know theta is an angle between the current element and the magnetic field, that is 90 degree. Okay, so the Lorentz force Fb became ILB. Okay, if suppose I am moving the sliding conductor with the velocity v, that means constant velocity. Okay, so we are applying a force that is equal and opposite to the Lorentz force. Okay, in order to move the conductor with the velocity or constant velocity, so we need to apply the external force that is equal and opposite to the experienced Lorentz force. Okay, then I can consider that one as applied force. Magnitude is equal to Lorentz force. Okay, so that is equal to ILB. Okay, here we are some mechanical work. We are moving. Okay, we are moving with the velocity v, so we are doing some mechanical work. Then the power of that work is, we know power is the rate of doing work. Power can be written as power of this mechanical work. Okay, mechanical work, power can be written as, power is a which quantity? It is a scalar quantity. We can write this one in terms of force and velocity. F applied dot V vector. Okay, power is a scalar product of two vectors, so this one can be written as P is equal to F applied V cos theta. Okay, theta, here the applied force and the velocity are in same direction, so theta became 0 degree. Okay, so cos 0, that is 1. Then power P is equal to F applied into velocity. We know power, then applied force, that is equal to Lorentz force. We can write this one as ILB into V. Okay, we know I is a current in the loop. Okay, that can be written as I is equal to BLV by R. Okay, substitute in the above expression, then we get power is equal to BLV by R, then this one became LBV. Okay, after solving this, power of the mechanical work, that is P is equal to B square L square V square by R. This is the power of the mechanical work. Okay, then here we know I is the current flowing through the circuit, so this induced current flow in the loop, this will produce a Joule heating effect. Okay, see, then let me see the rate at which this thermal energy is dissipated in the circuit. Okay, that is power dissipated in the circuit, power dissipated in the loop or circuit. Okay, due to current flow. From third lesson we know power dissipated, that is equal to P is equal to I square R. Okay, we know I is equal to BLV by R. Substitute in the above expression, then power became B square L square V square by R square into R. R are going to cancel, then we get power is equal to B square L square P square by R. Okay, see, first of all I am moving the conductor, okay, from the position AB to CD in a magnetic field. Okay, first of all I am applying a mechanical force, or I am doing a mechanical work. Okay, then next, due to this mechanical work, it produces an induced EMF, then it produces a current I, that is an induced current. Okay, then this energy became, mechanical energy became electrical energy. Due to this electrical energy, it produces heat in the loop. Okay, heat energy. See, the mechanical energy needed to move the rod is converted into electrical energy, then which is converted into thermal energy to heat the loop. Okay, here for this system, the conversion, energy conversion is consistent with the law of conservation of energy. Okay, see my dear students, here in today's class or today's video, we know about EMF. We know EMF is a electromotive force. It is basically a work done in moving an electric charge around the circuit. Okay, we know example for some energy sources of EMF, that are electrochemical cell, solar cell, thermoelectric cell and electrical generator. First three are that can produce low power. Okay, they can produce only DC, direct current, but by using the electrical generator we can produce AC. Okay, that is alternating current. Let we see later. They are we can produce more power by the help of electrical generator. Okay, then we know, according to Faraday, EMF can be produced by changing the flux with respect to time. By changing the flux we can produce EMF. How to change the flux? By changing the magnetic field or area or orientation of the coil. Okay, in first method we know how to change the magnetic field. Okay, in order to change the magnetic flux, whenever there is a relative motion between the coil and the magnet changes, EMF will produce. Or when the two coils are placed in close proximity, if I is a current flowing in a coil 1 changes, it will produce an EMF in a neighboring coil. This is a method to produce EMF by changing the magnetic field. Okay, then the next method, that is production of EMF by changing the area enclosed by the coil. Here I consider a metallic frame. Okay, like that. On that metallic frame I placed a sliding conductor, that is AB, at the position AB. It is moves with the velocity V by a mechanical work. Okay, then it will change its position from AB to DC with a time interval dt. Okay, it cross a distance dx. Okay, that I represent here. Okay, it cross a distance dx. Then here the area and the number of magnetic field lines also changes. That means flux changes. Then the change in flux can be written as B and dA. Sorry, B dot dA. dA is a change in area. Then the area of this rectangle, that is length into breadth. Here breadth is represented as dx. dx is equal to V into dt. Okay, velocity is distance by time. It cross this distance with the velocity V in a time interval dt. Okay, then we get EMF psi is equal to d phi b by dt. Then psi is equal to BLV. Induced current, that is I is equal to psi by R, that is equal to BLVR. Okay, then next we checked the energy conservation. Okay, energy conservation of the system. Okay, we are applying a mechanical energy to move the rod, then the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. Due to this electrical energy, it produces heat in the loop. Okay, here I move the conductor carrying current. It experiences a Lorentz force. By Fleming left hand rule, we identified the direction of the force, that is acting in outward direction. Then the Lorentz force represent FB vector is equal to IL vector cross B vector. Okay, then this force magnitude is ILB. Okay, we know in order to move the sliding conductor with constant velocity, we need to apply a force that is equal and opposite to the Lorentz force. Okay, so I applied a force that is equal to Lorentz force. Then I need to find the power of that mechanical work. Okay, then we know power is equal to, power is a scalar product of force and velocity. Okay, then I substitute here, then I get power is equal to B square L square V square by R. Okay, then due to this flow of current, it produces Joule's heating effect. Then the power dissipated in the circuit. Okay, let me see the power dissipated in the circuit, that is P is equal to I square R. I solve that, then I get the expression B square L square V square by R. This is similar to the power of the mechanical work. Okay, here we proved the energy is conserved in the system. Okay, work out these equations. Okay, thank you.